Hello everyone, my name is Legend Ronnie and this game is Rise of Kingdoms. This is a continue to my mastery class video or series of video. This is Infantry mastery class that I'm gonna talk about right now. Now if you don't know, Infantry was my main specialization when I started the game. So when I started the game, my main specialization, my main focus was Infantry. Now let's talk a little bit more about Infantry, and my main focus is mainly gonna be about legendary commanders. I will talk about epic commanders, but I'll explain why I'm not orienting my focus on epic commanders. It's not because I have anything to do with free to play, but it's because the epic commanders for Infantry, they're not really that great, and unfortunately that is the truth. Now let's get started. What is there to know about legendary commanders? Well, first of all, this is couple of general information about the legendary commanders. First of all, you should keep them at 1 star until you max out their first skill. That is very important. You can apply that to the epic commanders, but for the legendary, that is the most important thing. Don't start leveling them up until their first skill is maxed out. That is the main priority. In some situation like Charles Martel, depending on how fast you can obtain legendary sculptures, you can keep him a 2nd star until you max out his 2nd skill, because that's the infantry boost. So if you go back, that is the infantry boost. Increase infantry units defense and health. So as Charles Martel could be an exception that you could keep him a 2nd star, but if you're free to play and you know that obtaining sculptures is not really hard, I just showed you how many sculptures you need to max out a legendary commander, 690. So that is a lot of legendary sculptures. For the main skill to max out you need 50, and for the second one is 140. So it's not something that you can clap your fingers just like that and you're gonna get it done. If you know it's very hard for you to obtain and you want to enjoy infantry build, you can go with 5-1-1-1. So once you maxed out his first skill, you can unlock his other skill, and then whichever, hope for the best. But in that situation, it's very advisable that you also have Richard. Why? Is because Charles and Richard, they are made together. You know, they are like the best infantry pair there is out there. I know there is Constantine, which is not yet unveiled. Nobody knows how you can actually obtain Constantine, but in my opinion, Charles and Richard, they are the best infantry pair, and they are made together and they are inseparable. That is it. One main reason is because infantry needs heal. Infantry needs heal to be able to sustain on the battlefield. That's how infantry wins. Infantry wins because they are very defensive. They take way less damage, and then on the same time they have a lot of counter-attack damage bonus. So this is 10% from him, and then it's gonna be another 30% from him. That's 40% counter-attack damage bonus. That is the way infantry wins. Attack is a little bit irrelevant on the infantry, but defense, health and counter-attack, these are 3 main priority for your infantry. Well, and healing, of course. This is why I'm advising 5-1-1 and 5-1-1. If you can max out the 2nd skill, you know, like on Richard, you can max out the 2nd skill. No, 15% damage reduction, counter-attack. Then the 3rd one is going to be the infantry, attack and defense. But there's going to be a lot of sculptures and you're going to have to wait a lot of time. So it's entirely up to you if you actually want to wait or not. But according to many people telling me, a 5-1-1-1 Charles with a 5-1-1-1 Richard, they are much better than maxed out epic commander. I was not able to test this, so I personally do not exactly know if it's true or not. It's just what people are telling me, that 5-1-1 with 5-1-1, they are much better than maxed out epics. Now if we go on the epic commanders, there's only Eulji Mundok and Santu. Where is Santu? And Santu. These are the only two epic infantry commanders. And what is something that you're noticing on their main skill? They both do direct damage factor. So they both do damage. It does decrease the defense of the target. And Santu does generate a lot of rage and also has additional damage factor. And once you obtain his expertise, the damage factor is literally significantly increased and hits up to 5 targets. But still, infantry is not winning by doing damage. Obviously, you can try it if you can't max out any of the legendary, or for you it's very hard to obtain legendary sculptures. Then your option is Eulji Mundok with Scipio as a second in command. So Scipio is a second in command to Eulji Mundok. Or you could go Eulji Mundok and Santu. But on that situation, I would put Santu as the main commander, because at that point you're focusing on dealing damage more than having an infantry build. So if you want to pair up Eulji with Santu, I would put Santu as the main commander. Right, now let's talk more action. Let's see some talent builds, because this is basically what makes the difference. So once you get to max research, once everyone has, let's say, max commanders, what is the thing that actually makes a difference on the battlefield, or what is the thing that actually makes a difference between two players? That is the talent build. Now you can always check my Discord. I have my infantry talent build on my Discord, but I also, since then, I have been developing and testing and observing infantry on the battlefield. So right now this is the current talent build that I'm using on Legend Ronnie, or the last time I was able to play on my Legend Ronnie. So this is my current infantry talent build. Now you're noticing something different, that I don't have the full infantry, and obviously I'm going to debate about that. There is an option over there, you can ignore it. It's nothing important about that. So I don't have elite soldiers, and I don't have snare of thorns, and I don't have 2% attack from the infantry talent build. Now let's say, how important is snare of thorns for infantry? It grants you 10% chance to reduce march speed on your enemy. Is that really so important? I don't think so. Is attack really that important on infantry? I really don't think so. So you're spending 6 talent points over there to spend another 5 talent points to gain defense on your infantry and health, because attack, it does help, obviously, any stats it helps. I can't say it doesn't. It just doesn't benefit infantry as much. And you also get obviously some attack as well. So there's 2.5%. So you spend 11 talent points just to get something. I'm not really down with that. I'm not really down with that. So for that reason, I started exploring additional options. So what are the additional options? Because Richard, when he's maxed and has expertise, he already slowed the target. With his main skill, he already slows the target. That's overkill on with Snare of Thorns to having even more march speed reduction. Plus, infantry is very slow, and you're gonna agree with me on that. They are very slow, and even some calves, even that you reduce their march speed, you still won't be able to catch them. Those 1 or 2 seconds that you don't have march speed, and then they are gone. So it doesn't matter if you have 3 skills and talents and all that reduce march speed. If there is a gap when there is no march speed, you know they can get away. So yeah, infantry is made for tanking, not for reducing march speed and various other reasons. There are commanders who does a much better job for that, like Babers or Double C or Saladin. There you go. As additional options that I have seen for my infantry was no weaknesses, spiked, which is the counter attack, and then is loose formation. Now, what is the thing that actually damages the infantry the most? Whenever you battle or whenever you're getting ganked up, you're getting surrounded, your infantry is getting swarmed up, what is the most that actually causes more damage to your infantry? And that is the skill damage. Whenever you get ganked up or whenever a couple of marchers hit you, that is the only thing that actually damages you the most. It's skill damage. So I came to realize that loose formation is a very important factor, which is 9% skill damage reduction. Then you have another 1.5% damage reduction, and then you have another 1.5% counterattack damage bonus. So that is gonna high up your counterattack. You already have 40% if your Charles and Richard is maxed out, and then that's another 1.5%, so you go to 41.5% counterattack damage bonus, which is pretty crazy. On the same time, with this build, you have all the march speed from the infantry, so you're not losing your march speed. I mean, you're slow with the infantry, but you're not making them even slower. So I would say that the trade is very, very fair, and I like this build very, very much. I like his behavior, and this is the talent build that I'm advising you to use right now. Now, on top of this talent build, I have built another one which I have tested, and obviously the name of the talent build will actually tell you the difference. So there's two talent builds. It's just the only problem is, for the second talent build, you have to sacrifice something. So this is the name. I'm just gonna. So this is the most defensive infantry talent build. This is the most defensive infantry talent build. Now, unfortunately, I put the yellow circle and just leave it. You guys can see for yourself where the points go. Alright, so I'm just lock it over here. Now, why do I call this the most defensive infantry talent build? If you notice from the previous one, the only thing that I removed is the march speed. I removed the march speed from the previous talent build, and I think it's 1% health or 1% defense. I'm not entirely sure. So that's the only difference that I removed from that talent build, and I gained the medicinal supplies, which is 300 healing factor after each skill. So that's when Richard uses his healing, then you see another small healing. Then Charles is using his skill, then you see another small healing. You probably noticed, or you probably fought many players who are trying this type of build for infantry, where they have the medicinal supplies, and that is the talent build that they are using. So they have medicinal supplies. That is the small healing. That's why you see 3 heals on Richard. So when Richard is using his skill, you see a small heal, and then when Charles is using his skill, you see a small heal. So that's why you see 3 heals on some infantry builds. That's because I'm not sure if they actually have this particular build or the same build, but this is the build or similar to this one that they are using. This is like the most defensive infantry talent build because you have a lot of healing. I personally would say that it has a very small utility, so I would find a very good utility for it in Ark of Osiris or any type of events where troops don't die. I would not actually rally a city with this build. I would find this build very helpful in 1 versus 1, or if your city is very close to the battlefield, so you don't have to travel a lot, and you just want to park your infantry there. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. You want to last as much as you can to do as much damage as you can with your infantry, then this is the build. I prefer the previous one because I still have the march speed. So I don't have the healing with the medicinal supplies, but I still have the march speed. And as I mentioned, there is like 1 defense and 1 health on top of the elite soldiers. So that's already kinda a lot of stats which I'm trading for healing. The healing will make the difference, will bring you the victory, but I'm trying to say that a little bit of march speed for your infantry, it's never gonna hurt. So these are the two builds that I'm using right now on my infantry, but obviously the previous one is the one that I like the most. Which is this one. Alright, so that is for Charles and Richard. Now again, I have to mention that it doesn't matter which one is gonna be the main commander, or it doesn't matter which one is the second in command. They both have the same talent build. They both have infantry, defense and garrison. So they can be applied for Richard or for Charles. Also, it's very important to mention, because I didn't mention at the beginning, that the talents count from the main commander only. They apply to the second in command and your army, but they only work from the main commander. I should have said that at the beginning. I do apologize about it. Just wanted to go straight into it. Now, I did mention about Sun Tzu and Eulji, didn't I? Well, since we are on the infantry, we can actually do something for Sun Tzu as well. Something special for our boy Sun Tzu. Now again, I'm not very hyped about Sun Tzu because he's so much focused on nuking, and there are commanders much better for that particular role. But in the end, I haven't tried it, and Dragotin apparently he seems to be very happy with his Sun Tzu. I'm not sure if he's actually using this talent build or something similar. I don't know what he's using. This is just my opinion, or this is just how I would try Sun Tzu. Again, Snare of Thorns is gone. You can see that I have the attack on this one, and you see that Elite Soldiers is gone. The reason I have this attack on this one and every little bonus helps, that's because Sun Tzu is too much focused on nuking. He has too much skill damage. His skills are too much based on doing nuking rather than benefiting your infantry or being very defensive. So that is the reason if I have to pair Eulji Mundok with Sun Tzu for infantry, I would put Sun Tzu as a main commander and I would put Eulji Mundok as a second in command for infantry. That would be the way that I would actually try this setup, and that would be the talent that I would have on my Sun Tzu. The reason why is because you need clarity for both of them, and then you need some 100% rage restoration. Obviously, Sun Tzu, if he hits up to 5 targets, that's 250, but I'm not entirely sure that all the time you're going to hit 250 targets. So that's why Rejuvenate, it can be very, very helpful. You also have some skill damage reduction, all the bonuses that the skill talent tree can give you, except the feral nature, which is a chance, and I'm not so happy with chances. So there you go. If you have a Sun Tzu level 60, you can go ahead, you can try this build out and let me know if you're actually happy with it. On the same time, which I forgot to mention, on your way to clarity you also get 6% march speed for your infantry. So how about that? You know, because march speed is something that infantry does need, so you get another extra 6% march speed from that build. So yeah, if you want to try some nuking infantry, you know, to like tank as much as you can while dealing damage as much as you can, then there you go, you have your Sun Tzu over here. I'm also gonna put this one on my Discord because I did have to fix my previous Sun Tzu because it was broken, and you're gonna have it over there. Now, in terms of Garrison, I'm gonna do a specific video just for Garrison because there's a lot of commanders for Garrison. I don't want to put it in this video. This is just PvP, infantry, talent builds, and mastery. To talk about Constantine, because he's over there, I can see him as well, and to say something about Constantine, not to leave him so empty. What I'm trying to say about Constantine, that he is a very, very good city defender. That's my opinion so far according to his skills. he wouldn't be a commander that I would try on the battlefield. Considering the good legendary cavalry commanders that are out there and the option and the possibilities of options available, Constantine would be something that I would focus him for city defending. It can be tested, but until then, this is my opinion about him. I will not put him with Richard, I will not put him with Charles. Even though it might be something interesting with Charles, I will still not do it. Infantry needs heal, and a 100% heal, and that is Richard. Richard has 100% heal after every skill. That's exactly what you need. Now I hope I cover as much as there is, and I talk about the builds, in as many details as possible. Until next time, this is your boy Legend Ronnie signing out. Peace out, yo, and take care.